What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a very in-depth breakdown of all the prices of everything I have spent on this car, legitimately down to a T. So I saw this video previously on YouTube, but I'm putting a little bit of a twist on it. It's basically just how much money it takes to build a bagged, built, flared Subaru. Obviously you don't have to follow everything that I have got if you're trying to build your Subaru somewhat to this level. So what I'm going to do is kind of give you guys all the prices so you guys can kind of budget, figure out what you need to do first, and if you actually want to take on a project like this. If you're willing to put in the work, I'm telling you right now, from what I've experienced so far with this car, I'm absolutely enjoying it. Every last penny is 100% worth it, but that's just me. So basically what I'm going to give you guys is the information and all the prices for all the parts, and then you guys can decide if you want to dive in and join the Built Subaru gang. So I think what I'm gonna do is I have everything on my phone, every single part that I have, or I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but a huge majority of the parts that I could think of and all the prices attached to them. Let's go ahead and break it down. We'll see how much I've spent. So this is what I'm gonna be looking at. I'm not gonna show you guys the end price, but I just gotta scroll down a little bit and you'll see this is everything I'm gonna be reading off. So let's go ahead and start with the engine, and we'll go ahead and pop the hood, show you around, and we'll do a full breakdown of what it takes. And no, I have no idea where this little freaking cover went. It's like this little pop down thing you could maybe put like some cards in and stuff. I have no idea where it went. I seriously need to find it, but let's go ahead and look under the hood and I'll break it down for you guys. Now if I could figure out a way to put like a price like in like the lower left corner and it kind of building up, I'm gonna do that. If you just want to follow along, write it down, double check my math. I think I'm decent at math, so hopefully I did all the numbers right. But let's go ahead and start breaking it down. Let's go ahead and break down everything it takes to build the engine. It was a lot more than I was thinking, so let's just go ahead and do it. So starting with number one, start with the cams that I have. They're from GSC. Those were $1,000. My rotating assembly, that will be rods, pistons, bearings, everything. I just included into just a package deal. So the whole rotating assembly, including the bearings, is $1,500. I did send out my block because I couldn't do the machining of the line bore and honing the cylinders, but I did all the work as far as the heads go for the machining. But for the block, I had to send it out. That was $150 for a line bore and then $200 to hone the cylinders. So moving along for the rest of the stuff, there'll be a Killer-Bee oil pickup, which is $180. STI oil pump is $200. The springs from GSC were $250. The valves were $230. Timing belt kit was $250. Cosworth head gasket was $160. Subaru gasket kit is $300. The injectors from Cobb were $540. The pump, which is a Walbro 250, was $100. The IEG AOS, which is over here, was $400. The IAG TG Vitaleats with the phenolic spacer were $300. The IAG steel braided oil feed line, which you can kind of see down there, was $90. The 20G turbo, it's a TD06, which is this guy right there. That turbo alone was $1,400. The exhaust system, which will be the catless downpipe, and the NVIDIA N1 straight out the back. Also including for the exhaust system is the up pipe that I got made. So all those together is $700. The parent front mount, of course, the piping, and the huge core down here that you could see. Let you a little better look under there. The front mount, I got it used, but it was never used. That was $800. A Cobb 3-port boost control, which is hiding over here. That boost control solenoid was $115. The Cobb fuel pressure sensor, which is this guy here, that guy was $225. Cobb access port, which is of course inside the car, as we all saw my special little mount there that I made. That guy was $650, and the Mishimoto radiator was $280. So everything combined, if you added all that up, if I did all my math right, is I think it's like $10,000 and $10,020. I don't know how to don't know how to say that. $10,000 $10,000 How the hell do you say that? $10,020. Yeah, that's how much it cost for my engine. I'm just laughing, like I'm not, like I'm kind of dying inside because obviously it's like a lot of money, but I did save up for a while to do that. Was it worth it? Yes, I mean, of course. Yeah, I only have like 400 horsepower right now, and it's a fully built engine, and I spent $10,000 on it. But I built it to handle so much more. I'm going to put a lot more power down, but as of right now, it's only a 91 octane with that size turbo, so I don't want you to think that a $10,000 engine build is only going to get you 400. It's going to get me a lot more, but as of right now, it's at 400. Just putting that out there. Now that we went over everything as far as the engine goes, we're already at 10,000. I forgot to add, if you're going to, get into a project, obviously you need a Subaru first if you don't already have one. So I'm sure I've said this many times before, but I bought this car 3 years ago, and I spent $14,600 on a one owner, 70,000 mile WRX Limited. So that was 3 years ago. So obviously the market was it was a lot better for Subarus back then. Now I'm sure you could find one for a pretty significant amount cheaper, but I'm just being super transparent with you guys, telling you how much exactly I spent, and just putting that out there. I'm sure there's going to be multiple comments of people saying, oh, like your parents bought you that car, or oh, your parents bought you that engine. No, I'm sorry, you can believe me or you cannot, but I do everything myself. I get all my money myself. I bought this car myself. I save up for everything that's anything that you ever see in this whole car world. I do it myself. I work a lot, so putting that out there just before we continue. So if you add up the $14,600 car plus the $10,000 engine, do some simple math. So far we are at $24,620 so far. We still have some more modifications to go over, so let's go ahead and hop to the exterior of the car and show you how much I spent on that. So moving on to the exterior of the car, let's go ahead and just start with the wheels. The wheels I got used with tires for like $1,500. The flares, which are Carlton flares, they were previously on another World Rally Blue car, so I didn't have to pay to get them painted, but I personally spent $800 on the flares that were already painted, and I am very happy with them. It was worth every last penny for it because it makes the car look so much better in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely love it. So moving on to what everyone always asks me about, which is my headlights. It actually only cost me 20 bucks for just the LEDs, but I made them myself. I took them apart, I painted it, but the LEDs themselves were only $20. Moving on to the back, which a lot of people ask about, which is the ABW ducktail. I absolutely love it. I just got it wrapped. So the ducktail alone was $180. Moving on to the taillights, which are 04 or 05 taillights. You can find them for about $180 to 200 bucks, kind of maybe around there for a really clean set. I personally had to spend $200 to get these taillights. They're freaking perfect, so I'm totally fine spending money on that. And of course, my suspension, which is Airlift Performance 3P, that was $3,200. Do I love it? Of course, I absolutely love it. Makes the car look amazing, makes the car handle amazing. Overall, totally worth it. Moving on to also the rear, which is part of the suspension, which is white line rear control arms, which are $200, which I had a while ago and I almost forgot about. So everything on the exterior, if I did my math right, is $6,100, basically to make your car look like this essentially. So now that we got all that finished up, let's go ahead and move to the interior. So I don't have that much going on in the interior, but definitely a little bit to go over. So I'm sure people will ask. The head unit, I think I spent $300 on that. It's just a Kenwood, pretty basic, but the double din just makes everything look pretty clean. And I'm absolutely in love with my gauges, as I've said multiple times over. So the full gauge setup, it's the Innovate, the AAM, and then the Pro Sport Oil. Also with this is about $500 for all the gauges, and also the actual 3-pillar pod. Altogether, this is about $500 that we're looking at. So I just switched this guy out. This is a shift knob that my friend made. It's 60 bucks. You can actually find it on his website on BDR Fab. This is the AV style, if anyone is wondering. I normally sometimes run the STI shift knob, which is in here as well. But this one was gifted to me, so I'm not going to consider it part of the list because I didn't buy it. But for that one, if for anyone's wondering, that's a shift knob made after me, for my design, from my friend. Also, I do have a cardboard short shift, which I believe I spent $60 on. It was just used. And something that I did forget about is, now that we're talking about the trans, is I spent, with the clutch and the blast plates that I have on my 5-speed, I spent $940 for both the blast plates and the clutch that I have, which is a South Bend Stage 2. Obviously, to compensate for my engine, I had to upgrade that as well, so that's how much I've spent. One more thing I forgot to add, if you guys want to add it in to this build list, because obviously I spent money on it, which I spent $500 on getting a professional dyno tune from Snail Performance, and I think that's basically going to finish off for all the parts. So everything totaled up, dyno tune plus all parts, was $19,300. Now, I've owned this car for 3 years. And of course, I didn't get all these parts all at once. This was over a 3-year time period. So adding up the car plus the total parts, I got $33,900, basically where I'm sitting at right now. Of course, that is a rough estimate. I'm sure it's probably a little bit more. There's a couple things I probably forgot. But that's basically a rough estimate for you guys. Now, of course, that $33,900 is, that's the price for doing everything myself. Now, of course, like I said, the only thing that I really had sent out was to get the block line board and also get these cylinders honed. As far as all the machining for the heads, surfacing, all that stuff, I did all that myself at school, so I didn't have to send it out. So like I said, yeah, that price is the price if you're going to install everything yourself. Flares, bags, ducktails, seats, everything to do with the transmission, everything to do with the engine taking out, engine putting in, engine full assembly and disassembly. All that, of course, costs money if you can't do it yourself. So I did a rough estimate also if you're not going to do it yourself and you're going to have a shop install flares and a shop install the bags for you, and basically all the work that has been done to my car. If I had sent it out to a shop, I'm sure I'm extreme lowballing this, but if I did a rough estimate for full engine build and everything that's been done in this car, I said labor costs would probably be anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000. I got that estimate because I've had friends send out their engine and getting a full engine build done and sending out stuff similar to my car. And it cost them basically about that much if they were going to have their car go to a shop and get all this work done. It's basically a rough estimate. So of course, depending on that shop, that range will change. So if I had to give you a rough estimate, if you want to buy a Subaru, build it to this level, send it to a shop and have a shop do the whole thing, it'd probably be anywhere from about $45,000 to $50,000. And that's, of course, if you're not going to do it yourself. So before you guys get too in over your heads, that's just what I wanted to kind of shed some light on as far as how much these builds actually cost. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more than I was thinking, but at the end of the day, it makes me very, very happy, so I'm totally fine with it. Well, that is pretty much that. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say about how much I've spent on my car. If you have personally built a car to this level or even a little bit higher or lower, I'm kind of interested to see how much you guys have spent. It's kind of cool, kind of fun to see how far your car has come along and how much time, effort, and money you've put into it. So I thought it was a pretty interesting video. I hope you guys enjoyed as always. If you have any questions for me, make sure to comment down below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.